The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Last Order, the podcast where we look back into the films our Hallmark favourite actors and directors would rather forget that they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always, having been issued with a restraining order for stalking Chase, the campest butler, round and round, it's James.
Oh, yeah. He had a magical job, that man, didn't he?
He was everywhere and nowhere.
Here's how you cook a steak. Well, that's that done.
Now get in my golf cart, and I will drive you towards a bear.
You got any boots?
And he's like a modern-day Jeremy Wade, but only catches Mr. Stevens the pike. It's Planty.
I'd completely forgotten about Mr. Stevens the Pike. Don't tell him Pike, Mr. Stevens Pike.
Yeah, the time in between doing them now, I have to sort of write them afterwards for the week after. If you want to keep up to date with upcoming film choices and that, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. Or if you want to spend 90 minutes exploding lads dressed as jacket potatoes from space and want to recommend a film to us, you can email us at hallmarkgreatness@gmail.com.
Please do.
Yeah, I don't want to make a habit of this, but we are covering another sequel today. After the lovely Mono and Kira came and did Tales of the Ancient Kingdom with us, we decided let's go back and
sequels are brilliant, aren't they? Let's do that again.
Sequels are always better than the original.
Except when they're not.
Said to nobody ever. Terminator 2, maybe.
Aliens? Question mark.
I don't. Yeah, two films we could come up with, which is ironic because the sequels. Yeah. So, to lead you into this, this week film. 1983's Escape from the Bronx, which, if you remember, way back when, episode, I didn't even bother to look that up, which is an error on my part, I do apologise. Bronx Warriors was the original film, and this is the follow-up that was 3 years later.
Yeah, I mean,
a year later?
Should know that as well, shouldn't I?
Yeah, it's fine.
So Bronx Warriors 1982. This is 1983.
This is a year later.
Just a year.
Wow.
Bronx Warriors, gentlemen, was less than a year ago.
Was it?
Yeah, 6th of
Wow.
April 2023, listeners, if you want some of that action.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's the story of a simple man called Trash trying to save the Bronx, ? And on the way, he meets some tap dancing gangs and an ice hockey goon. And
He learns to walk. There's a whole thing there.
He learns to walk. And in this film, he uses that to his advantage. He's leaping, he's mincing.
He does.
It's all going off there. But
As I
before we get-
recall, he does a lot of jumping in that last film, and then he only does it once in this.
But everyone else does so much jumping
Yeah.
in this
Oh,
film.
yeah.
So much.
Everyone is constantly jumping out from round corners to scare people.
If they're not doing that, then they're leaping to wild conclusions as well.
But
Let's
before
get
we
to
get
it.
into that, let us fire up the machine of things.
Appeared behind me that time. That is the sound of the multifaceted storyline machinator of logic. And today it's sponsored by manganese. Don't say you weren't warned. Escape from the Bronx.
I think that's my new favourite bit of this.
Escape from the Bronx 1983. Amy Escape is a small-town astrologer who must work out which lane to get in to actually finally leave Oldham for once and for all, or else the kingdom will be on upheaval. As events ensue, Amy becomes acquainted with Leroy Bronx, a brilliant name, a software developer who peddles in Neil Diamond's diamonds. A crisis ensues when
Bit on the
they're
nose.
entered into...
What came first, the diamonds or Neil Diamond?
It's from Q, isn't it? The winged serpent.
Yeah.
There was Neil Diamond's dad. A crisis ensues when they're entered into a tournament with no rules and the couple must work together. Will they succeed for once in their lives? Signs point to yes.
God.
And all of that is brought to you by the lovely people at Manganese. Don't say you weren't warned.
I mean, that should be the advertising slogan for a lot of stuff. Oh, Christ. The actual synopsis I found for Escape from the Bronx 1983. A ragtag group of people must fight extermination squads amid their ruined city. That's it.
Yeah.
Were extermination squads ever so wildly advertised on the side of the vans? That's what
I thought that. They're not even trying to hide it. Like, if any of those camera people just turned their cameras around and went, that van literally says extermination squad on it. Maybe they aren't good people. No. But no, nobody does. And it's the same 2 ice cream vans driving round and round that block constantly with a coat hanger and a CD sellotape to the roof. Oh, I'm going to say I fucking loved this. After all the Hallmark stuff, I just wanted to see people explode constantly. And also, we got all the things I love in this. People on fire, people doing flips off balconies. So many people doing flips off balconies. And dialogue that we've come to know and love from the Bronx Warrior series. Shut up, you shit. It's one of my favourite lines. Also, this was recorded in English, but all the dubbing seems slightly off.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually, as you say, it was recorded in English. People were mouthing their lines in English, and then it was dubbed anyway.
Oh,
so
okay,
yeah,
right, because that makes
it
more
gives
sense.
it a slightly ethereal quality. Of people.
It feels like you're looking into the future slightly.
Well, that's what they wanted, surely. It's 1990 after all, or whatever.
It's sometime in the future. So after the event of Bronx Warrior, where I don't know, they had to go and fight someone in a castle, I think.
There were the Tigers who had their kingdom. And then it was flamethrower to oblivion. Thrash was the only one that survived. He fucked off. He was the only one that was alive at the end of it.
Yeah.
Somebody had kidnapped the president of the company's daughter, and then there was a chance that once he dies, she would become the president of the company.
But she didn't want to be the president because they were evil.
That's
right. Didn't realize she could just take it down from the inside.
Yeah.
I think they're called the General Construction Company, and they kept saying the GC, and I misheard that as Juicy Company, and I've just gone with that throughout this.
That's fine.
Oh, I'd heard it as the VC. I thought it was the Viet Cong.
I thought something was a bit out of tunnels in this. So. 2 tunnels really close to each other that they decided to pop out of separate tunnels. And a small. When was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? Because it feels like they went
probably at end of the decade, I would have thought.
Right, because it felt like they went, we need to get a kid in
early
this.
90s.
Yeah.
Temple of Doom was like 85.
Yeah,
it was like 85, I think. Because then the other one was 89, wasn't it?
With Shawnee. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Anyway. Let's get into this big old bag of explosions.
I got a big kick out of the title of the company. It was a vulva film. Oh, Brian, you came. Possibly. It might have been a vulva film. I'm not sure.
It was more the fact that it appeared, and I thought it was one of those colorblindness tests. I was like, is it a 7?
It was filmed in Squamish. Oh no, Technicolor. Sorry, reference to the last episode.
Hey, yeah. And we open on "Leave the Bronx, come and live in New Mexico." And there's these posters they put up around. Now, I know some of this is clearly filmed in Italy because it's an Italian exploitation film, isn't it? But some of it is New York, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. So all the external stuff is New York, or is that?
No, it's quite blatant, the bits that are New York, and then there's other bits that are in that same brick factory from the first one.
Oh, there's so much use of the same set shot from different angles, which I'm all a big fan of. But I'm like, there's only so many times you can jump over that bit of water before I'm like, hang on a minute, that's the same bit. But yeah, and there are the anti-infestation extermination squads.
Disinfection Annihilation Squad or something.
Yeah, for some reason I've written Defenestration Abandonment Squad, but then I realised I think that might be a band from the early 2000s.
They're just throwing all the tramps through windows.
No, it's Daz. The Daz Ultras. They are shiny good. In fact, does somebody want to take us through what these people look like?
Right.
So
they come in 2 types. There's 2 classes of anti-infestation ground trooper. There are guys in silver jumpsuits with crash helmets on. That are all scuffed up, but you won't be able to see anything through those visors anyway.
That's a good point.
Yeah, there's a bit later when
they don't really need them anyway.
I think it's just because basically there's 12 stuntmen who do all the stunts, and it's just an easier way of hiding them. They get one go in their SS officer uniforms later on, and then back on the helmets. Yeah.
They make a big thing out of there being an epidemic, so I thought it might be related to that. But then, that's just a lie, as far as I know.
Well, they sort of go, yeah, we're trying to cure the epidemic, but then it's never mentioned again. I think that was, it was to cover so they could murder people.
It's how they get them out of. It's pretty much how they get them out of the Bronx, isn't it, and into New Mexico, wherever they said, which I don't actually think they are. Contrary to the fact that they keep mentioning it. Oh, we've got this nice place in New Mexico, nice place in New Mexico. But I think there's probably scene missing. I think there's a scene missing somewhere where they're just murdering people.
I think they're literally doing that bit in Threads where they just shoot them and dump them in a ditch. Yeah. But they're running about, and the other. So we've got silver jumpsuit, crash helmet, motorcycle crash helmet, ground trooper, and then we've got flamethrower astronaut trooper, which is the exactly same silver jumpsuit, but they've got an astronaut's helmet on, backpack, flamethrower, which I don't know whether that's a good use in a close environment. Also, why do people still want to live in the Bronx? It's a shithole. Nowhere's got a roof.
Can't leave, I think. Well, no. Few places have walls at this point. I mean, the setting was really good. I mean, all the locations that they chose were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All these ruined houses and everything. It was brilliant. It's been declared uninhabitable. I mean, that never stopped anyone living in Rotherham, but that's not been cleared. There's a
Rotherham,
special...
come for us.
Please don't. Somebody's got a special button on the camera for slow motion in this one.
Oh, have they?
Use that to bugger it.
It's stuck on, I think.
I had Big Garth Marenghi. If we could film it in slow motion, we did film it in slow motion. Even the dialogue at times.
Even the music in this one actually goes out a little bit. I don't know if it's just how it was.
There is some cracking music in the background, though. There is some sort of sub-Warriors style electro sort of nonsense at bits, and then someone's just generic. But yeah, they're going round, going, everybody get out, because you can come and live in New Mexico. New Mexico's great. They keep cutting to this control room where someone's playing battleships.
The laundromat.
Yeah.
The laundromat where all this is run from.
What a dry cleaning hanging up behind him if you looked closely. And he's like, squads to D12. You sank my battleship. Yeah. And it's these the same sort of boxy, weird ice cream vans from the first film driving round. These lads keep piling up. They pile into this, again, abandoned brick factory. And there's a homeless man on the floor. And he sees them come in with the guns. And then he's like, oh, no. And then they just set him on fire. And I'm like, this is brilliant. Things I love in films, people on fire, right?
Yeah.
Straight away. Like, we're not messing about. We're 3 minutes in, if that.
Good being on fire acting as well.
Oh,
was it acting? I don't know.
I spotted this guy as non-union David Warner, by the way, from The Omen. And the woman that was with him was non-union Julie Walters.
Oh, no, this is before then.
No, sorry,
This
this
is
is
the
the other guy on fire.
This is the tramp they see at the start.
So the tramp that they set on fire, because it's like, right, I'll go. It's too late for you, sunshine.
Yeah, but also, like, him stood there and the flame hitting him bit.
Yeah.
Did they actually do that? Because it felt like they did it twice and then were told by health and safety, you can't keep setting actors on fire. Because, but again, you can see him. He's got all that flammable shit smeared up his jacket and he clearly turns away from the camera because he's got a face mask. But I love a man on fire. I love people on fire.
It's absolutely a great trope. At this point, there was a little bit on. We were still running some credits at this bit, and I see someone got a story credit, which I thought was a bit charitable.
Just copy and paste.
Pretty
pew,
much.
Pew, pew, pew. Man falls off balcony. Pew, 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 pew.
We've got some really nice helicopter footage at this point. He reused that shot a couple of times, but it was very nice.
Several times.
It says, I see something and it's trash. He's under a bridge. Pretty much like how that actor died, as it turned out. And they shout,
light. We're early on, Jesus.
Oh, I did wonder why I wrote it down. But they go for him. He's in like some scrapyard near the bridge.
Yeah.
And he looks frankly bewildered that all of this is
He looks confused as to what's happening.
He does a great job of diving behind pipes, though, doesn't he? He's like Mario.
And then he does a James Bond through the pipe with his gun. Everyone do that with your finger. But he's got his hog with him.
From his pistol.
This gun, that everyone's got God mode on in this film as well, because no one ever reloads. At any point do you see anyone reload a gun. Like, it's fine. You know, I don't need to spend...
And the man in the laundromat says, Skyboy 3 has been shot down.
Skyboy 3.
Best chopper name ever.
He was a sky boy 3. She said, "See you later." Yeah, but like he's just mucking about under this bridge. He's got his hog with him. He's got his bike from the first film, right? Which he takes
he's
everywhere.
got the skull on the front and everything. Yeah,
yeah, he's got the skull on the front. He's like all the rest of his crew are dead now, so it's just him on his own. But yeah, when the hell is that? They're going, there he is, let's get him. And he just stands there and let them shoot, and then he goes, oh, best move. Like, he just genuinely seems, why does this keep happening? Oh, yeah, the first film where I killed loads of people. But yeah, he explodes a helicopter at what? 700-yard range with a
single bullet. Yeah. Blammo.
It is. And he gets on
and they're like, oh, fuck him then. Let's get his parents. Do you know where his parents are? Yeah, in that ruin over there. So they send all the goons to infiltrate this ruin. There's some nice graffiti. Nice graffiti is all the way through this, and we noticed this from the last one. I don't know if anyone spotted any at this point, but I was
too busy laughing at that guy trying to open the door for about 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, Mr. Lee. It said in caps.
What from SMTV? Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. That's a reference for me and nobody else.
Yes.
There's an argument inside as they creep up.
Why do I want to go to Mexico? I don't want to go to Mexico, new or otherwise.
It's his mum and dad. They've got a poster of Trash on the wall.
They've got a big,
oh yeah.
Someone's been to Athena, haven't they? I get that.
Yeah, but you don't see on the other side of the room they've got that one of the woman in the tennis ski showing her ass.
Oh, that man holding a baby. That was a good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a very big poster to have in your front room.
Massive.
But also it's a bit weird to have like a glamour shot of your son on the wall.
He is the hero. He is the hero of the Bronx.
Yeah, but we never met him in the first film. They were never mentioned. Like, I don't know. I don't mind.
It's the kind of thing where it'd be a good sort of like Easter egg thing that, you know, if it was smaller and it was just sort of like in shot, you wouldn't. You'd have to go back and watch it, sort of thing. There's no missing this. You're like, oh, he's walked into the room. Oh no,
these must be his parents. Otherwise, they're
obsessive. Yeah. If they're not his parents, he turns around and he's got a mask on. Get off me, you mentalist! You're a mentalist.
The chair and the treasurer of the Trash fan club, like. And so, yeah, one of them like hacks at the door with this axe for a good 3 minutes, and they're still arguing. They haven't noticed. This is just standard days in the Bronx with people. And eventually, they kick the door. One of them gets tired and kicks the door in. I was like, you could have just done that in the first place. And Trash's dad gets a bat and whammos this guy right in the face. Like,
well, he turns into a mannequin first.
Turns into a mannequin. Which I was like, I'm fine with this. But as he falls back as well, the vice has been replaced. And I was like, yay! Oh, it's so good. He whams some people with that bat as well. You son of a bitch. Yeah. But unfortunately, they come in and they set him on fire. And he falls over. And then his mum...
throw on his mum.
His mum goes,
I put down at this point, has this ever happened to you?
She falls into her washing line and then gets set on fire. Also, if you look closely, I was like, hang on, I had to rewind this bit. Because there's just a crew member in a green jumper stood in the background of the shot where they set him on fire. Like,
there's a few of those. There's a few throughout.
Who's that? He's not got a tinfoil outfit on. And I'm like, clearly crew. Yeah, it's fine. I'm assuming when we get to James Facts, the budget of this was less than the first one.
It was less than the first one. Yeah. So Trash climbs through some Roman catacombs and meets evil Paul Simon again.
No, he doesn't. He drives his bike.
He rides his bike up some stairs.
And then turns it round and drives it down some stairs. He goes down a ramp.
That's how you enter the catacombs.
Hits this bit that's not enough to get a bike in. Like, just park the bike up, son. Like, you don't got to take it everywhere with you.
His bike's his life. His bike and his hair.
Well, I'm off to the can. He meets evil Paul Simon, who is the evil Paul Simon from the first one.
He's
got a different part. Yeah. I wrote evil Paul Simon. I thought, I've written evil Paul Simon before.
I thought, right, because I just asked before we started recording this, I asked if it was Calabos from Clash of the Titans, and it isn't. I've just looked it up. But
no, it's non-union Gary Stretch, obviously. The only time Gary Stretch has been mentioned by anybody for the last 5 months.
Blade in the last one, and he reappears here as Big Little Man.
Is he Doubloon? Or am I mixing him with somebody else?
Nook Choris.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. No, sorry. We haven't got to Doubloon yet. Got you.
No, he's got lovely feathered hair and an eye patch.
Yeah.
Nook Choris, I called him.
And then Doubloon comes in, or Evil Garfunkel works just as well.
Oh, mate, they might be living under the ruins of the Bronx, but you've got to get your frilly shirt and your leather waistcoat on, haven't you?
Absolutely. You want to be part of his gang, that's for sure.
Well, I like this bit as he's walking through and everyone's like, "Hey, Trash, how you doing?" And we see, right, this is where I was like, "Yes, this is going to be the best film ever."
Yeah.
It's the gold robot tap dancing gang leader from the first one.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, this is brilliant. Continuity.
And they've got some zombies in the background. And for people that haven't watched the first one, they're not actual zombies. No, they're hockey players.
Roller hockey players look like knockoff Sub-Zeros from Mortal Kombat.
It's like some of them have escaped the
or survived.
Massive event.
Had to band together against the Juicy Corporation.
I was really into this, and I thought, I wonder what the story is that all these gangs, whoever's left of these gangs, whoever didn't die in the first film, has now all banded together to be part of this.
Because there's only
we were talking about this. Yeah. We were talking about this in the last one, that there could be potentially infinite gangs out there, and we see hints of them in here because there's Nazis, there's punks, there's at least one Bedouin that's found his way in there. And they're all crowding around. There's coffee.
Was the last, before they got to the Tigers, was the Bedouin people not the last gang they had to go through before they got to the Tigers in the last one? I think.
Oh, possibly. I mean, you know how this sounds.
No, I know, right? But I like the fact
the Chippendale ones were there.
There's a load of leather daddies. Yeah, Rob Halford's gang are there. Yeah. Again, there's going to be punks because it was the 80s/90s, 8 at this point, and punks were always the baddies in an alley, weren't they?
Yeah.
We've got some leftover tigers as well, some guys in suits knocking about.
I mean, that's how you can tell that it's a European film, in that the punks are actually on the good side. As if it was an American film, they'd be shitheads, would they? Yeah. Anyway,
the fact that we got all of these gangs, and what I want is that story of Calabos bringing them together, uniting them in their tunnel under the city.
We should write a short kind of prequel. We should write a short kind of
audio drama
that joins them up. There you go. That's it.
Bronx Warriors 3.
Son of a bitch. I will shit in the
1994.
toilet. Oh God, I know what I'm doing.
So, Trash delivers them ammunition. He's not really part
brought
of
like
this.
3 boxes of ammunition.
It's really hard to find, is what he says.
But they spunk bullets round the place like there's no tomorrow.
Well, he says, "I've got you these doubloon.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that all Italians know about New York, is that it is right on the Mexico border, because this man hams it up. Special for
this guy's great. I will say he knows what he's doing. And
Those bastardos.
He's fully leaning into it. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm sad that now I know that it isn't his voice, because I want to hear the original dub of it. Although I imagine they probably didn't have a sound recordist.
It's mainly him laughing. I mean, that's just what he does, is laugh, and then other people go,
"Oh, mate!" When they get the president down there later on, and he's doing his type 5. Oh, it's brilliant. Also, one of the we see some of the silver jazz tap dancing people training in the background, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4. It's very.
I know my heart
don't be afraid to use your nails, boys. And also, one of the tigers gets threatened with having his knob cut off as well by a lady with a switchblade. Yeah, which I was like,
oh, is that the dominatrix? In every film, there has to be one.
No, because the dominatrix died in the first one, so she could have been replaced. She could be, there can be only one, like a Slayer in Buffy. Like there can be only one.
I noticed her.
Apparently
her name is Birdie, but I don't remember anything else about it. But I've got facts about her at the end.
I think she's called Juana in the actual credits. But yeah. Also, Nook Choris, Big Little Man, isn't that a Mumford & Sons song? Do you remember them before one of them went racist? Anyway.
Really? That's good news, because I hate Mumford & Son.
I like that.
I mean, it's not good news that anyone's racist, but you know.
Yeah. And so, right, he's talking to Doubloon, and like, is this where we cut to like the boardroom?
Yeah, so they have this conversation because Trash shows concern for those who are on the surface who are defenseless. And DeBlone's like, well, they'll never come down here. We're safe down here, sort of thing.
Oh, he loads that big rifle up, doesn't he, with the ammo? And he's like, you ran away too quick, you cowards. And DeBlone just goes, ha, 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 ha. Yes.
Yes. And then at this point, he goes back home. So he goes to the surface, and there's looters coming out of his mum and dad's place.
Yeah, getting his baseball bat and that laundry. Big poster of him rolled up under one of their arms.
He pinwheels one of them, which is good. And then he goes in to find the bodies of mum and dad. And I thought it's very hard to grieve when there's bad slags coming at you left, right, center. He's trying to grieve and
Just
shoot
give me
at the same time.
5 minutes, please. With this, again, he's got like this revolver that it's like Dredd's Lawgiver. It has various settings. It's just, but yeah, his dad has got some coal rubbed on his face, but otherwise is fine. Like he's been set on fire with a flamethrower. Right, he would be crispied. Yeah, but no, he's just got a bit, and he's like, "You shit sons of bitches, shits," and he swears revenge upon those what have done this. That's what, like, for Trash to say that he's supposed to be the savior of Bronx. He's whamming people left, right, and center as well, like his own people.
I think he's a loose cannon. I think he's supposed to be.
He's gone mad after all his gang got wiped out.
Yeah. And then, this is where we get President Clark of the Juicy Corporation.
Oh, this guy. They're going over all these.
He's the same guy. He's the same guy as in the first one.
Is it?
Is it
really?
I think he was called something like Mr. Ted Fisher in the first one.
No,
and now
right.
he's Mr.
What?
President Clark.
But they've got this fantastic kind of outline of what the city's going to look like and all these buildings. Sorry, a model.
They've kept the shitty bit.
Yeah. Just to kind of show the difference, I get to make it look better. But at no point, because these buildings were all well and good, but at no point could I see a building that housed a giant lizard's egg. Disappointingly, I would have liked to see more.
Later on, when Vice President Hoffman is stroking all the buildings,
yes,
there is one with a big silver ball on top, which could very easily fit an egg inside it. Yeah, because I was like, that's clearly the disco building, and Harvey was like, why am I watching this?
Why indeed?
It's like, because I fell asleep watching this twice.
They wanted to build a perfect, ordered, civilized city, and I think they say that it's going to be suspended above the Bronx or something.
Oh,
so
like
I don't know why they need to knock it down.
Yeah, it's going to be
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And then the aide, whose name is Hoffman, he says that the Bronx peasants, they're all going to go to New Mexico. It's fine. And there's a journalist there whose name is Moon? Question mark.
Oh yeah, she's called Moon Gray.
Oh, she turns up at this point and says they're genociding citizens, and they're like, no. You can't use that word. Get out.
Yeah, this was where I was like, "Oh, maybe we shouldn't do this at the moment." It's hard to make jokes about that, isn't it? So let's not.
She's non-union Shelley Duvall.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got big "Hello, Mrs. Torrance" vibes from her.
I just got if Karen Carpenter and a horse had sex. And she's like, they're not going to New Mexico, prove it. And Hoffman's like, I've got pictures of people near houses in New Mexico. That's good enough. And all the rest of them are like,
documentation, he says.
Yeah, he's got documentation. And then she goes, no.
Signed affidavit.
Yeah, again, like the thousands and thousands of people that have come out of the Bronx. I was like, where are they getting food from in the Bronx? There's nothing there. It's London after the Blitz. There's just nothing.
I was disappointed there was no quick cut to them enjoying life on a beach in New Mexico, like in The Running Man.
But
I mean, you say it's London after the Blitz. I think it is Rome after the other Blitz that happened there. Yeah. I think it's essentially housing that has not been cleared since the Second World War. It is grim.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but they're all
great
happy
setting
there, like a sense of community or whatever. But again, if you go and buy something from the shop, someone's going to wham you outside with a bat and steal it off you. Like, it's not the community you want to live in, is it? It's not Salford. If we're going for Rotherham, I'm going for Salford, right? But yeah, and then they go like, he's like, get rid of her. She's obviously crazy. And this was another bit that I was like, this is prevalent. Respected journalists can ask questions.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh no, satire.
And then I put, to be fair, it's the Bronx punks wearing the Nazi Iron Cross and SS lapels and stuff, isn't it? And one of it, like Trash, has a Confederate armband as well.
I didn't spot that.
Yeah, on
the Nazi regalia.
on the sleeve of his brown
it's
leather jacket.
it's sort of like adopted in irony, isn't it? But still. And then because they're talking about, I don't know. I think there's a sort of left-leaning message in this somewhere. The journalist very pointedly has got a very red scarf on, which I think is deliberate.
I don't think it is.
Anyway, they say, "Oh no, they're being rehoused and everything," and then they cut to people being fed into the vans that are labelled Annihilation Squad.
Come on, all you slags, get into these murder vans. I mean, not murder vans. They're just marching them out with their hands up. I'm like, that's not. Again, this is not peaceful relocation. The forced exile of people from their homes. But trash. Oh, is this where we're introduced to what's he called?
Wangler.
Floyd Wrangler, who looks like a baby version of George Bush Jr.
Oh, very good. I had non-union Chevy Chase.
Oh,
yeah. He reminded me really strongly of someone, and I've still not placed it. But they do all of this press conference stuff, by the way, because this is where Wangler's introduced outside 101 Park Avenue in New York. It's actually like a legit big business block.
There are bits of it that are filmed in New York, and there's a bit where I was just laughing of some guy just going, I clearly wasn't filmed with permission, and he just like
every single bit of filming in New York is really, really shaky. Like they've just put a camera in a hold all, and they're kind of just hiding from the police because they've got no permit.
Giant buzzing hat.
Yes.
But yeah, Wrangler is the new guy from the first one, like the head of the death squad.
Yeah, he is the new Hammer.
Dirty work.
Hammer!
Hammer was the guy in the other one. And many, many points through this film, I thought, God, I miss Hammer and his gammy foot.
Oh, so many good Hammer memories.
But he wandered around going, I'm Hammer all
Please,
the time.
Hammer, don't hurt him.
Hammer in your parachute pants.
But he is wearing a lovely black jumpsuit with silver quilting on the lapels, which makes him look quasi-futuristic, and I like that. It's a bold choice for a man who's supposed to be tough and looks like one of Pan's people.
Reference for nobody.
Ian will get it. He doesn't even listen, I don't think.
Trash is grieving while the Annihilation Squad rock up outside, layering C4 as they go. It's plentiful explosives.
When they're putting those people in the back of the vans, they're like, evacuate all buildings because we're going to explode the fuck out of them now. And it was like, okay. They're putting down so much explosive, so close together as well. Like, and at one point, when they're putting people in the van, a bit of wall just explodes for the fun of it. It's just like, sorry, I was just testing. God damn it, Silver Gary.
A goon rushes over to tell Wangler that people are still inside. No, he says things. There's still people in there.
We've still got a life form inside or something. He says,
something like that. And he's like, like rats, mice,
scanners or something. Yeah. And he's like, I don't care. Just kill them all.
I don't know if anyone remembers Monkey Dust, but it's very much like the Nazis in that. But sir, there's a baby inside. Yeah. I don't care. Like, it's very much like that.
Oh, Monkey Dust.
We get this detonation of model buildings after that. Which,
mate, I will say the model work. If they'd
slowed it down, I think it would have been all right.
Yeah. Oh, don't ask them to slow more stuff down, James. Christ. We'll be here all week.
They did it where it didn't matter, and they left it where it really mattered.
Come in and light the fuse behind the back of it. I don't know. I quite liked the exploding models and stuff, but I just thought they've done the best. It's
just a bit too quick. Like, I think when it happens, it's sort of gradual, isn't it? Like slightly, and it didn't have that. You could tell what was a model. You could tell what was somebody's actual face and what was a mannequin with a helmet stuffed on the top of it. And it's sort of like that.
Not live my life like that.
Trash is running for his life, and he gets stuck under a ladder that's suspended above him for what feels like 5 hours.
Yeah, he falls down a thing or something. He's just shooting people left, right, and centre as well with this magic gun. Like, he's pow pow, and everyone's like falling over. Everyone's doing flips as well. Like when they get shot, no one just gets shot and just keels over. And he falls down this thing, and this ladder. I thought the ladder was going to land on him. Yeah. But no, it's just swinging above him like the sword of Damocles. And I'm like, what? Is this supposed to be allegorical?
And they attach a camera to it so you get the ladder's eye view.
I like that. There was a couple of interesting camera choices in this. My favourite was the dick cam later on, where it's just a shot upwards from a guy's dick.
I didn't recall that. So that'd be interesting to get to later.
It's a random trooper doing a clear in a house, and we just get this upwards crop shot of him going, "Sir, everyone's out of the building," or something. I'm like, I experiment.
Yeah, I think the ladder explodes.
Why not?
He gets
Let's say
away.
it does.
Meanwhile, the president is bollocking Wangler in a limo. He says, the UN's due to discuss genocide in about 5 days. That never comes up again. And Wangler says, well,
Moon
it's all
mentions
morals.
Genocide again, but yeah.
Yeah, but he says, morals aren't my concern. These people are a race apart. So it's clear there's a bit of friction between the two.
It's okay if you do a genocide before they bring it up at a meeting. After that, you're not allowed. Right, everyone agree to stop doing genocides now. Fuck it, thank God we got all ours in the past week. Yeah, it's a weird. Again, some of the dialogue in this, like the guy who got credit with the story, Alfonso Bonzo or whatever he was called.
Also, they're not even the government, so the
They're
government
a
aren't
corporation
breathing
that are
down
offering to rebuild an entire island of the city, or a borough of the city, sorry. Which also, right, the rest of the city is lovely. Well, it's New York in 1983, so not that great. But how has this one borough gone to such rack and ruin?
I think that was at the opening of the last film, is that it's suddenly a shithole.
All the gangs moved in and everyone else moved out. Right,
exactly
okay.
Only the gangs live there.
Oh, man, I should have done a double feature.
Well, it's actually caused by the development of infrastructure in New York, and they built a massive tri-state motorway, freeway, right through the middle of the Bronx in the 70s, which then divided up communities.
Oh, really?
And that's when it started to decline. And then by the 80s, it was really bad.
Yeah, I know 80s New York was grim, yeah. But actual history facts.
Shout out to Marshall Berman. Urbanism facts. He's well dead. There's a group sitting, that are just sitting around, group of men sitting around, and they get approached by the Silvery Goons, who don't open fire immediately, even though they're genociding everyone in 5 days. And they get really, really close, and they've got the flamethrowers ready to go and everything. And then Trash is there, and he shoots them.
Pew, pew, pew!
Everyone opens fire immediately. Trash gets hold of a flamethrower, and you can see immediately how that's going to go down.
Yeah,
it's carnage, explosions. Somebody's got a grenade from somewhere, so that
everyone's got grenades in this.
And the laundromat's like, it's an emergency. There's an emergency going on.
Everyone, get to square B7. And it's the same 8 lads getting in and out of these fucking vans. Like, we're going to do the joke every time because they do it so much.
Yeah.
Like, but I like the fact that it changes. Like, there's a change in shift in the laundromat of operator as well. Like,
but they go to all these different places, all that have exactly the same scenery and exactly the same doors and the same ice cream stand.
They march past that like rubble thing a couple of dozen times in this film, and I don't mind it.
No, that's fine.
Same as
they were limited
Dwarf,
to
they're running up and down the same corridor every time. It's Star Trek, like it's what I mean.
Wangler takes personal control. I think there's got to be a scene missing where he gets back from visiting the president, because it's like he's with the president 1 minute and then the next he's about to go down a mine shaft or something. But the journalist is there with somebody called Jay, who doesn't last very long. Non-union Daniel Radcliffe.
I've got pervert Peter Sutcliffe. With his tiny camera.
He's the photographer, she's the reporter, and he's non-union Captain Lou Albino.
Oh, nice. They go in to the Bronx to take pictures, and she's going to report it. Hasn't got a notepad, hasn't got a dictaphone, nothing. Worthless journalist. I can see why Henry Clark wouldn't deal with her, because she's not a reputable journalist.
No.
She
hasn't even got one of those journalist
government
hats.
side.
Press written in it.
At no point does she run into a phone booth very
what
quickly.
A scoop!
There's in the distance. There's ice cream van that's on like a patrol. They've got a couple of captives, and they're walking very slowly through the neighborhood.
They've got them gagged,
so
walking behind them again, which is not "let's go to New Mexico and have fun," is it? Which is more like Trail of Tears.
This is when I first picked up on the antennas on the van, because you get a close-up zoom of the antennas. I wondered, can you pick up the Channel 5 test card on that one?
It's the inside. It's the grilling section from my air fryer.
Oh yeah.
And it's whoop, boop, boop spinning round, and we get like this, and they've laid Trash and some of the ne'er-do-wells have laid an ambush for this patrol, which involves them just jumping out and shooting. Like one guy jumps out from behind a wall, does a star jump as he leaps out. And I was like offering a bigger target, but whatever. Everyone's getting shot, and like the potato men are getting shot. Trash's lads are getting shot. One of them goes to free one of the things, and he goes, "No, I've got a bomb on me." And he goes, "Young son,
young man, young man."
And then a mannequin
rips
explodes.
His shirt apart, doesn't he? And you see the bomb, and it's some cracking dummy work on this
lad,
isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really good.
At least that was quicker though, because you're not really supposed to notice until they explode. So yeah, it's a counter ambush. They explode.
All of the hostages have got bombs on them, which again is not rehoming them in New Mexico in solar housing, I believe it was called.
Yes.
Well. Yeah. And so everyone's getting exploded. I think everyone apart from Trash dies in this counter ambush, because like Trash is a terrible leader.
Yeah.
Like he's not good at his job.
And Jay, Peter Radcliffe, Daniel Sutcliffe, whatever you want to call him, he gets shot in the back while he's
taking pictures, going, "What a scoop! This will get me the Pulitzer for genocides." And then a guy just comes up behind him and just pops him in the head. And Moon Grey just goes, "Oh well,
I have to get another photographer."
Yeah,
that's the third one this week.
Yeah, I'll just get off this fire escape that no one's seen me on, despite the fact that I'm dressed like a flamenco dancer.
He was 3 days from retirement.
That camera was on its last day. But yeah, and then like she runs into Trash, and Trash is like, "Oh, a woman. Let's do the bit from the first one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She calls him, and did I miss this? She calls somebody the thief of Baghdad, and I was like, "Oh, that's a bit racist."
I missed that.
Yeah, thief of Baghdad. I was like, "Oh dear, that's not very nice, is it?"
But he has got a reputation. Like he is a known quantity in this. They go and see Toblerone again.
Bagged.
Yeah.
But
I got it. That's a good joke. I'll give you a round of applause.
Thank you. So they go back down, and I think, isn't there something about they're now trying to infiltrate the tunnel? There's something. People on the surface.
Yeah, there's a line. The line is, "It's easy to make people who don't exist disappear." And I was kind of like, "All right, Rudy Giuliani, fucking hell."
Yeah. But I think like they overhear it during the ambush or something, that they're going to come into the tunnels and wipe them out, because no one knows they're there. Only they, the Juicy Corporation and the Potato Murder Squad, know that they're there. So
what an album title that'd be.
Captain Beefheart's got nothing on me, son.
Wasn't there a Smashing Pumpkins album called that?
It's a double album. So yeah, they're going to go and wipe them out. Trash comes down with Moon, and is like, "They're going to come and kill you." And the bomb goes, "Ha ha 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 ha, shit," because that's all he does. And he's like, "No, they're not." And he's like, "Yeah, they are. Right, we'll defend it then." And then they start building like a barricade, and the guy gets out like a big old machine gun with the belt-fed ammo and stuff. And like, where have they got that from? Because Trash is bringing three boxes of bullets every time he comes in. So that's like his whole bullet allowance for the year saved up for that.
It's like those turrets in Aliens that they're just eventually going to run out of.
Don't. That's like the most stressful part of
it is. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah. But then again, right, they do all this barricading, and then we never see it defended at any point.
No, not at all. They just then go into other bits of the sewers.
Yeah, I think Doubloon says, "Oh, they'll never even dare come down here." And then the dominatrix says, "One of them came down here. I killed him." And they're like,
that's it.
Yeah. Eva Valkyrie is just wandering around with a feather boa on upstairs, going, "Oh, yeah, there is some." Yeah. And so they go, "Right, the only way we can stop this happening is if we go and kidnap the president of the company." Right. And I'm like,
"Yeah, because we tried his daughter last time."
No, she came to them for help.
Oh, yeah. But the journalist turns round and says, "If we kidnap the president," dun, dun, dun. And everyone looks shocked and frankly appalled at such an idea.
It's not the only turn to direct to camera we get in this film as well. And so
they need to crawl under the city to do it, but people have done it before.
People have done it before. Trash
Strike.
did it before.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
jeez, it's not Strike.
I love Strike.
Yeah, well, it's not Strike that's the problem for me.
What do you mean? Has he even got a name?
Strike Junior.
Yeah, non-union Hervé Villachez. Masters in plane.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why he has to have a small, like, Asian boy sidekick.
Again, the Goonies? Question mark.
Yeah, maybe they set the trend. Who knows?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's a great point.
If you are Alessandro Pretre, let us know.
Who done it first?
Was it you who done it? Did you done that? I liked Strike. He was kind of like a shitter Chuck Norris. And we've already had Nook Choris before, like with the eye patch. So.
He does have the best lines.
Oh.
In these next couple of scenes, he's got some cracking lines, by the way. One of them is, I like scratching my balls.
Oh, because if you don't come with us, you'll just be down here scratching your balls. I like scratching
my balls.
He's got the weirdest setup down there. He's got flags, he's got guns, he's got fuel cans, and for some reason he's got a confessional box, and nobody uses it properly. Like, you want a shot of them looking through
I think in Doblone's area there is an espresso machine.
Yeah, there's a guy with a tea urn, as James mentioned before. I thought it was the craft services table that accidentally got in shot.
Left it in. We have a craft services table. You bring a thermos.
Craft services table.
Just one craft cheese slice for everyone. Have you been up all night eating one craft slice of cheese?
I think I'm Italian.
See, this is better than just doing bits. Anyway. So he agrees to come with them because he's like, if we don't go and
scrap. Also, he sexually assaults the journalist for just a tiny bit, and then they both laugh about it and move on. So and then
he goes, "All right, I'm going to put on a big bright blue backpack. Trash, I've got a big red one here if you want to wear that. If you don't get any camouflage ones, fuck you, am I?" Like,
and then the Fellowship of the Bomb set off.
Oh, Jesus.
All four of them.
Down Damp Tunnel 1A.
And he says, there's more ways to die down here than a Bruce Lee film.
Ah, yeah.
Ooh, that's a little bit soon, isn't it?
83? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get you that.
But perhaps he wasn't talking about Bruce Lee dying.
No,
perhaps
I think he was talking about Game of Death. Or
Right, okay. Yeah, got it.
But again, he might not have even said that because I think it was ADR'd in. I don't think we saw his mouth move, so... Yeah.
I don't think that's important. I don't think you need to see his mouth
very important.
They talk about him raising his kid, Strike Junior, below the surface, and they say, "Why not just go up there? You know, back into New York." And he said, "Well, is it any better up there?" Yes, Strike. Yeah. Jesus Christ, it's well better up there.
He's my son. And she says, "And you keep him down here?" And he's like, "You would too. He's a really annoying shit child." Maybe he doesn't say that last
penis of a child. Yeah, but he's like, "I've got everything I need down here: flags, guns, petrol."
That confessional. He definitely voted for Reagan, didn't he?
Sometimes I'm the priest. Sometimes Strike Junior's the priest. We take it in turns. Forgive me, Father. I am
still
your
not
father.
figured out how to use it yet. You can't just whip back the cloth that covers the curtain.
You can. My priest used to. And he'd have a kabuki mask on.
We get some nice shots of New York City up above, the yellow taxis and everything.
Oh, this is where we get like the same shot of the helicopters tracking.
This
like
is where
3 times
really
in a row.
shaky.
Yeah. And
Julia's just leaving behind a string of explosives behind him. He's a disturbed child. I've put here that he's like a tiny modern Theseus. I was clearly
only you would think that. Nobody else in podcasting history has ever made that comparison.
Yes. For my masters in Greek theology, I'm going to compare Escape from the Bronx.
Sometimes I think we don't give you the credit you deserve.
I was going to say, like, he's way above our league, isn't he? Like, we're here doing knob jokes, and he's like, maybe it is like Theseus. Yeah. I just put he's like a psychotic Data from the Goonies.
Well, that works as well.
Yeah, I know, but yours is like makes it sound cool.
Yeah, death trap down there now.
But also, I like to. He seems to control later on. He seems to control the tripwires by going with his hand.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Matrix, isn't it?
Ah, maybe.
He's prefiguring so much shit. Anyway, they pop up somewhere where I thought it's like the same stretches. Go on.
No. Strike pops up out of a hole in the dirt and goes, looks around, and then he gets up, goes to a tube, like an actual manhole, and pulls the rest of them out. And I'm like, why are there two holes right next to each other?
Should have been like a Raising Arizona moment where they're all screaming and raising out of the ground.
And then a ferry goes past in the background.
Time?
There was a shot. Yeah, there was a shot at this same bit where they threw the remains of somebody's cremated remains in, and it all blew back in the faces.
But all the bikers pulled up and they threw all the dirt, and then it went. God, Big Jerry's in my mouth
again.
A lot more dusty this time.
We get a 360 rotation of the camera, which is nice. And we see fascist cops talking about English muffins.
These guys.
He doesn't say English muffins. He goes, I'm going to a bar later on. It's a good old English pub.
English pub, yeah.
And then a guy goes, what is this, a hen party? Come on, you mooks.
My question was, why were they all dressed like Chief O'Hara from 60s Batman?
Why are they just the Keystone Cops?
And there's a bit where he goes, hey, as they go away, and as they're off screen, it's obviously ADR. Hey, the lunch wagon's coming, and they're like, right.
Just his man with some sandwiches. There's and I'm right. This is my theory: is that they were like, you be the stuntmen and get exploded up with the bike helmets on and all that jazz, and you can get your face on camera in your Keystone Cops Nazi SS officer uniform as well. Oh, okay, fair enough. Like, because it's the same guy. You see one guy die about 3 times.
Yeah.
But I don't care because
it's
the
fun.
body count in this is astronomical. Like,
oh well, I've got that later.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, cool.
How many mannequins died to make this film? Kim Cattrall will be furious.
This is where there's reporters briefing on the demolition of a Gothic castle?
The New York Gothic castle.
Yeah.
Which needs to be ploughed down to make way for a new children's hospital. They can't use that building because it's clearly haunted.
Well, I looked up if the Gothic castle is a real thing, and I just remembered that bit from I think it's League now about the haunted house. So I just watched that clip again, and I forgot. Club Haunted House.
President Clark arrives by chopper and greets the media. There's lots of radio chatter in the background. I quite like this bit though.
Massive camera lenses on as well, like huge camera lenses.
Oh yeah.
While all this is happening as well, Strike, Moon, Trash, and Strike Jr. are dun, 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 through the undergrowth, while wearing massive red and blue,
quite
visible from space, backpacks,
we get the ceremonial whacking of the building. Is that a thing?
Come into my house.
I don't know.
Come into my house, Gothic Castle. It's safe and sexy.
There's I get when they're constructing a building, there's the laying of the foundation stone, or
breaking
tapping
ground.
it with
Yeah. But not whacking this thing with a silver pick twice, and then being hey, great. I didn't understand what this was.
Trash appears from behind a sort of boarded up window and grabs the president's head and pulls him back through.
Well, no, he goes, we need to make a distraction. And Moon goes, I know how to do that. And just goes over and basically repeats her spiel from the distraction.
And then
look at me, I'm creating a distraction. Stop creating a distraction over there.
And then she gets shot.
Well, no, I think it's Hoffman says she's got a gun and someone shoots her.
Yeah, she's got a gun. She's got it aimed at the president.
Yeah,
is the line.
Of a company, not of the USA.
No, absolutely.
But also, there's all these guys in matching cheap suits who are the leaders of the Potato Men. I think.
Yeah.
Fixers.
We see them more later on, but they're all there as well at this point. But yeah, they shoot her. We don't see it on camera. She goes, falls over. And then one of the Nazi cops runs past to take the cameras off these 2 guys that are filming her and clumsily drops a pistol on her tummy as well. And I was like, and
then this is where Trash grabs, just moves this one single bar, doesn't he, from this door, this bit of wood, drags him in and puts the wood back. And then they all kind of go, oh, fuck, well, we won't get through there then. But the line is, let's get out of here. Clark's been kidnapped.
Yep.
And I was like, you fucking assholes.
Literally, move that bit of wood. Like,
Yeah, go and chase them.
That's not my job. Also,
this
we
is-
get
this is-
some more nice graffiti at this bit. I think Joe got this.
Oh, was this where it says coconut oil?
Yeah. Today's feature film is sponsored by manganese and coconut oil.
Coconut oil. Coconut oil. Beware.
Just coconut oil. Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought that's a weird thing to have. I don't know. Maybe it was a rap man.
Strike confronts the president because they're busy getting away. Good afternoon, Mr. Murdering Clark, he says.
And I was like, zing! Well done, Strike. He's had that locked for ages. That.
At this point, I'd been trying to figure out who Clark reminded me of, and I absolutely couldn't. And then I thought he's probably a
Other than the
non-union
president from last time.
Well, yes, of course, and non-union Lee Van Cleef, or Simon Pegg in that Big Train sketch about the Billy fan club,
Bloody hell!
which was a bit of a stretch for anybody. I
was gonna say, I was like, he looks a bit like Thingy in basketball. That's what he reminded me of. Anyway.
Very good. Yeah.
But again, he's being pushed down this corridor, making his suit all dusty as well. And he's strikes. So now they're having to make their way back to.
Yeah, I noted this is the 30-minute to go mark, which is where shit is supposed to get real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was well
it does get
excited
real.
for what happens
So,
next.
This
As they're
was a
walking-
bit where Scooby-Doo turns up because they just end up running through lots of different tunnels.
Yeah.
How dare you, sir? We cut back to the dry cleaning laundromat, and they're like, okay, we need to block off exits like B and L.
Yeah.
So they can't get out. And Wrangler is like, yeah, they can't come out of the exits here and here, so we've got them trapped.
So don't go into the sewers. Whatever you do, don't go into the sewers. Shot of them piling into the sewers.
Oh, and then Wrangler goes,
Roddy's
"Get
like,
in
go
the
into
sewers
the
faster."
sewers again.
Yeah.
It's like, sir, we're ready to go in. They've all gone in, Potato Boy. And also Wrangler then says, like, you get down there and all, son. Like, it makes no sense. Like,
And then
the
one
plan
of them
quickly
goes,
changed.
Oh, that was very, very clever gambit there, sir. Like saying the opposite
that
of what
guy
they should do, which they
clearly
do anyway.
angling for a promotion. Yeah.
Yeah.
They go down into the sewers. There's a lot of shooting. Like, there's a lot of people just going, jumping out from buildings and then getting wasted by Trash and Strike with his shotgun.
Jerry can of fuel as well. Tipping it into.
So there's a lot of like running through this bit of corridor, and then we get to the industrial zone of the Crystal Maze, and there's like a gully of dirty water. It's in like the next
I missed
5
that dirty
scenes.
water.
I love that dirty water.
That's
Oh,
good.
Boston, you're my home.
It wasn't, but yeah.
Right, but all I didn't understand is, so I think like Wrangler escapes twice.
Mm-hmm.
The first
Yeah,
time
he does
he
a
runs
little
away,
run, doesn't he?
and then he goes, "You can't get out. There's a gate there. There's a gate there."
He was actually like Scotland, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was doing that bit down walls.
But he looks down a tunnel and decides no, he's going to run over to the gate that's locked, and then he comes back and then he scuttles across the wall, and then he goes, "Oh fuck it, I'll go down there after all."
Yeah, and then Trash
If
comes
somebody
after
could
him and goes,
overdub that with Zoidberg,
Oh,
that'd be brilliant.
and then Trash comes into that room that he was in and goes, "Son of a bitch has got away," and goes down the wrong tunnel.
Yeah,
Completely the opposite direction, but don't worry, because all tunnels are circular under the Bronx.
it's like Rome, isn't it? All sewers lead to Rome.
It is in Rome, actually.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, all sewers lead to that brickwork factory.
They get him again, and Strike says to him, "You try that again, and you'll look like a tea strainer." And I thought, what?
Sure.
What a strange metaphor.
Yeah,
But anyway.
it works. I mean, they're full of holes. Yeah, but
It's not the first. It's very domestic, isn't it? It's what turned this for me into a kitchen sink drama. Anyway, Wangler tries to trap them now in the sewer. There's a lot more explosions. They're in the catacombs now, and there's mad abseiling action.
right. before we get to
Every
that-
single person gets their own rope descending music.
Yeah,
They get
it's good.
it's a different theme for all of them. It's
Right,
contractual.
great.
Rangers theme. Yeah. Before that, when they're running down the dirty water bit, like Strike tips something into the water, which A catches fire and then has some sentience of presence that when people walk past it, it explodes as well.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
these potato men are so later on, but with the tram lines thing where they just keep going, well, Derek's died. Well, best follow where he's gone, and I'll explode. Like, but this thing, it just and one guy goes, let's get out of here, and then explodes, which I thought was really fun as well. The descension of the thing, despite the fact that A, there are clearly stairs all the way down there because Potato Men follow them down the stairs like 20 seconds later. They all descend down it. Two, again, lovely. Again, whoever did the music for this clearly had issues. But they all get down there. Strike takes out his broom-handled Mauser and shoots the rope, and then he's like,
Yeah.
And then two lads just appear off a ledge. And I'm like, oh, we could have gone that way.
Could have just done that.
Yeah. Who set this up? We didn't come in this way.
That's
Also,
an excellent point.
Strike descends that rope like a man who's terrified of rope.
He does, yeah.
Like
absolutely.
Mr. T, and Mr. T is the strongest man in the world. But we're nearly, we're running through these sewers. People are popping out left, right, and centre. Pow, pow, pow. They're getting wasted.
Lots of slow motion action diving. It looks great.
They keep, Strike keeps putting his favourite brick on the floor, which then explodes as people run near it.
Yeah. What was that? What? It's like a lintel, but he was putting it in front of the thing, and people just couldn't get any further.
Like Father Jack's brick. I love
my brick.
Yeah, I don't know. I assume it was like plastic explosives, and then he shoots it. And I don't think that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. People are exploding. People are doing front flips. Also, not at one point did we get a Wilhelm scream, which I was disappointed at.
No,
Do you know
I was
how
looking out for
expensive
that as
the
well.
Wilhelm scream is?
Not in 1983.
Oh, maybe not.
I thought that was the point. I thought it was free.
It is.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
All right. Good.
All right.
Good.
I was trying to think of what the Italian version of Wilhelm would be, but I
don't know how much.
The Massimo scream.
How much that was in lira, but yeah. Yeah, very good. Wangler does a weird bit as well about where he's instructing people. We suddenly get, how many times, you idiot? No sugar in the coffee. It makes me crazy. And then like throws his coffee around.
He acts like they've put crack cocaine in his coffee. I don't know about sugar.
80s.
Yeah, sure.
Did. And this is where we get Hoffman.
I'd like to
now.
think it was the guy who gave him the compliment before, and he's like, "Oh, I've ruined it. I shouldn't have put sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I going to tell Margaret when I get home now?"
Marguerite. Hoffman is there in the nerve center of his empire, fondling the model of New York.
Doing a sex with the buildings, yeah.
And then we see the big silver egg on top, which has got Quetzalcoatl's child in it.
And its own cop.
Yes, rooftop, a tiny miniature rooftop. And then, he kind of goes, well, we best kill Henry Clark and I can assume his role. And Wrangler's like, yeah, sweet, let's do that.
With gas.
I'm going to get this big petrol tanker. I'm going to get a guy to stand in front of the name of the petrol tanker company that we borrowed it from.
Yeah.
So we don't have to pay him.
Did any of you spot this, by the way? It was Jerry and Son's Big Rigs.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't, because I was too busy laughing.
I can imagine him going, yeah, I'll let you use me truck as long as you get the company name in.
It was a
nightmare. It was a huge nightmare continuing running a tanker business in a post-apocalyptic New York. But me managed it, me and the kid.
Me and my boys, Jerry Jr. and Jerry Jr. Jr.
I am surprised that it took Mark this long to do a New York accent. It's very restrained on his part.
They're Italian.
But yeah, there's a guy whose job it is. They've started pumping this gas out, and there's a guy still connecting the fucking pipe.
Yes.
Come on, Trevor, hurry up. We've got punks and leather daddies to gas.
This is at the exact moment that the president reaches the underground cavern, and they all swarm the president.
I think he escapes again because Trash gets put under some very big toothpicks. I think when they start
there's a zip line at one point.
Strike uses a zip line for no fucking reason other than I've paid for it. I'm using it.
So we can do some shooting off the zip line because that improves accuracy.
I mean,
it's very similar to the nature of love that we did last week, actually, when you think about it.
No, but as Trash and Clark are running through, the thingy becomes unstable, and they manage to. I think Trash and Strike and Baby Strike get cut off from them, and he goes shits. And then they have to go another way, and then these supposedly very heavy bits of wood fall on him, and he turns into a bit like Gene Simmons from Kiss. Yeah. Clark runs away. He's immediately caught again. He's terrible. Again, all these tunnels just intersect, I'm guessing, at some point. And then they get into Toblerone's lair. And everyone, everyone's trying to kick fuck out of Clark. And I'd let him. But Trash is like, no, we must take him to Toblerone to stand trial or whatever. Because all the way through
That would have been brilliant if he had had to defend himself in a court of law.
Because Clark's
and that was the rest of the film.
Clark was like, you can't kill me because you need a hostage alive, otherwise you've got no negotiation. And then they get there, and Doblone is like, this is where he does his type 5, and I can't remember the line, but everyone's laughing.
I've got it.
Everyone laughs so hard that a barrel falls over, and they just keep shooting.
He says, oh, look, here's the president. Oh, look, he's got 2 arms and 2 legs, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
See, you're laughing.
It's good.
It's a good line.
It's observational comedy.
Yeah.
What's the deal with 2 arms and legs?
See, the people on the surface all have 2 legs, and they walk like this.
They walk like this. And the punks and the leather daddies down here, they all walk like this. But they're like, oh, and there's a red-headed, pink-haired lady punk who is doing good exaggerated laughing on the left-hand side of the screen as well.
Oh, I'll have to go back for that.
It's just, again, I think it's her that knocks the barrel over, actually. She's laughing so hard. But then, oh no, someone's turned a fog machine on.
Oh, Jesus. This is the gas that turns people inside out.
Right, this is the bit where I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Because Hoffman and Wrangler are having like a Hale and Pace head-to-head moment, right? And he's like, oh, well, it's a shame we've got to kill Clark, but, we've got to do what we got to do to clear the area and stuff. And Wrangler's like, yeah, first it reduces paralysis and then it kills them. I was like all gas, pretty much then, yeah. But then he turns to camera and is like, and sometimes you just have to kill people or something. And I was like, what bit is this? What's this about?
There's another bit where he issues an order to shoot to kill to his men. I'm like, what the fuck have they been doing this entire time?
Shoot.
They've been shooting slightly, slightly to the left each time.
Stormtrooper reasoning, yeah. It's so they introduce the gas into the thing through the only ventilation into this tunnel system. This one, like a drain. It's a drain in the road. They just put this tumble dryer
pipe
extension hose into this thing, and they go, oh no, gas! Everybody run about like it's the fucking big pink windmill. Like
it's 1999. I thought you were going to say
run around.
Jesus Christ, run around. Nah, like they all just lose their fucking minds. And it's like the end bit of Blazing Saddles. It's just carnage.
I'm working with Mel Brooks.
It's so broadly what's happened is to save the Bronx, they've kidnapped the president, but that's not worked because the company's ruthless. They've gas poisoned the underground city, so everyone's come up to the street. There's a massive war on the surface. The plot is gone at this point. There is no plot.
At this point, this is when Planty takes me and went, the last 30 minutes of this are just insane. And it is just people shooting. It feels very Counter-Strike, because someone gets killed that way, and then someone appears above them and shoots underneath them, and it just it goes on for a long time. Strike Junior is throwing grenades at people. He explodes a car, and then explodes the car again. Some mannequins fly about. Trash shoots a man with a flamethrower and he explodes. That was fun. That made me laugh.
The Dominatrix gets shot. I think Evil Paul Simon. I think he dies a little bit later on, but he's involved.
Big Little Man saves Trash because Trash throws his gun at someone or does something with his gun. I can't remember. He loses his gun anyway, and he throws him this gun, and they're like, "Yeah."
He does, he gives him that kind of.
But he's got his eye patch on, so you can't see it.
Yes, you don't see.
And then, everyone just gets absolutely jackanaped. Big Little Man gets shot up the arse, and dies. Toblerone gets, shot. Everyone just dies. Dominatrix lady dies. There's a great bit where one of the ice cream vans with the aerial on it is driving down the street, and one guy runs in front of it, runs round the corner of a building, runs behind it, and then runs in front of it, and then runs round again. And I was like, oh God, what is happening? But everyone's shooting everyone. It's a bloodbath.
It looks rad as fuck to have starred in, I have to say.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I imagine...
I think somebody described it as just like a paintball match at the end. So that's exactly what it felt like.
It's gunfight at the OK Corral, but everyone's bullets are just like going nowhere. Like they're just random. It's there's all these trucks keep showing up with potato men in them, and they just keep getting annihilated and dropping their guns. And then people pick up the guns. Wrangler shows up because he's been sent by Hoffman to take out Clark, because Clark's escaped again because they're terrible at keeping hostages. Has no one heard of rope in the future?
He's a bit like a tortoise, isn't he? I mean, he's like mega old and walks really, really slowly. But if you keep your eye off him for 1 second, then he'll be off down the shops.
There was a good bit where he busts out of another door frame with some wood on it and goes, "It's me, Clark. I'm alive." Someone shoots at the wall and he hides behind it, and it was really good. And then he jumps back out and goes, "It's me, Clark. I'm alive." The exact same line, the exact same intonation. We're only paying him for one line. Beep meep. Yeah.
He only paid him for one meep. He comes face to face with Wangler, and he's like, "Oh boy, am I glad to see you."
And Wangler's like, "Ha ha 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 ha!" And he goes, "Oh,
Doubloon, is that you?"
He goes, "You bastard, and then gets shot in the head.
Lamote.
Oh, it's good. And then Wrangler just jumps out from behind this bit of wall where he's done this and just starts icing people like it ain't no thing. Like, Wrangler's cool.
He gets into his own ice cream van and he drives off, shooting as he goes, as he would. Evil Garfunkel's there. He shoots him in the forehead. Evil Paul Simon jumps out and he gets shot as well. It's all water under the bridge now. And yeah, sorry. And,
very good. Very good.
And then Trash is there and he gets shot, but it doesn't really affect him. Like, he is physically shot, but then there's no reference to that later.
It scrapes his arm, I think, because later on he's got like a slight graze on his arm because army condition. He's got like a bulletproof conditioner in there. So fuck knows. Like, because he's terrible. Everyone is terrible in this. They wait until people are pointing guns at them before they shoot them, instead of shooting them as soon as they come out around the corner.
And that is a surefire way to get exploded in slow motion.
Oh, again, also all they do is
leading cause.
Stuff's scientists agree. Yeah, all the way through this as well, this last 30 minutes, I'd say a good 12 minutes of it is people doing front flips in slow motion.
Yeah. This film would be 60 minutes long if they actually front flipped them at regular speed.
Yeah, that's probably a fair point.
I missed that. That Limp Bizkit song, front flipped at regular speed. But yeah, and so Wrangler is driving his ice cream truck around.
Trash then gets behind him.
Trash uses the explosive setting on his new pistol, that has the same settings as his old pistol, and just blammos it into oblivion.
Yeah, it does. And
it shoots it 3 times. Yeah,
there's 2 different trucks. Like the truck when it explodes is on fire is one type of exploded truck, and then we get the next shot of it as the fire's dying down, and it is a completely different type of exploded truck.
Fire can melt steel. Have you not watched?
Jet fuel, etc., etc. Yeah, lots of those YouTube videos.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that it's a revolver. It's a 6-shooter, and yet he fires like 8 shots out of it as well. Because I've started doing that annoying thing of counting the shots in films now. Just because.
I know what you're thinking. Did Trash shoot 6 or 8 times?
He shot like about 107 and never reloaded.
No, I've never seen him touch a bullet that he wasn't given to the guys underground.
Yeah,
the only time you ever see him touch a bullet, he's got here's those bullets I owe you.
The rest of the time, 3 bullets I owe you.
It's like a laser gun that just recharges.
But yeah, he's thinking that. Hoffman gets into his little red Corvette. Little red Corvette. And he's like, "Peace, I'm out of here. But before I go, I'm going to run some of you chumps over." Twice. One guy gets run over twice.
That's a shame. It's a bad day for him.
And then I think, is it Strike Jr. throws a grenade at it?
Yeah.
And a toy dinky car gets exploded.
A little tiny toy.
Very quickly, so you don't see it.
Oh, we all saw it, I can assure you.
I loved it.
We've seen it.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And then we just end with Trash stood surrounded by the bodies of his friends, enemies, frenemies.
The Strike and Strike Junior, and Strike Junior says, "Well, everybody's dead. Do you want to come with us? We're gonna have." He goes,
"I don't want to go live on the set. Let's go back underground. It's better there. Yeah. We've got a confessional and an access to an espresso machine now as well, because all them fuckers are dead." There's just this bit before Strike Junior appears where Trash and Strike just look at each other and go,
yeah.
did they run out? It was like we only paid them for 100 words of dialogue, and at this point we're not putting any more in because no one says anything. They just look at each other, and like Strike goes, "Oh, no, everyone's dead, mate. I did my part. I don't know what's going to happen to the Bronx now because I don't know. Like there must be a vice president."
I think have they not just cleared it out now? Is that not just everybody dead?
Yeah, everyone is dead, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if anything, Trash and Strike are scabs. They're working for the man.
The end.
They were all along. But yeah, and then Strike Jr.'s like, come on, let's go underground. And fucking Trash just goes and waves at him.
Yeah.
And then it ends.
Because they say, are you going to, why don't you come underground with us too? And he's like, piss off. And that's it. And that's the end of it. He's like, no, I live above the Bronx. I live on one underground bit of the Bronx, and you live on a different underground bit of the Bronx. I can't possibly.
Hierarchy. And then diddly diddly do, making my way downtown. Yeah, and I was like, sweet.
Did she go by on the piano? Diddly diddly diddly.
It was on fire, and it was one of them toy pianos. Yeah, that was the end of the film. I didn't watch the credits because I was like, the last half hour kind of annoyed me because it was just dudes exploding constantly. And normally I'd be okay with that, but I need something to just layer it in between a little bit.
I'm just thinking, what if we did watch through the credits and there was a little bit at the end where it's just Trash sweeping up bodies on the surface?
Just going, Trash is going to be eating good. Shits.
Trash
is taking out the trash.
Yeah. Let's get that. There we go. Scruffy's going to die the way he lived.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was fucking ludicrous. It's that classic thing of I've missed doing the sort of exploitation-y Mad Max world stuff that we did with like
absolute bobbins.
But they had costumes in this. They had explosions. They had a very extensive mannequin jet. Everyone had to bring their own crash helmet. A guy gets whammed in the face with a crash helmet, and then Nook Choris is like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, I remember it now. There's also the bit we missed as well. We're talking about graffiti, where it says the Doge Gang as well.
Yes,
that tunnel bit that's just there.
The Doge Gang graffiti in it was tip top. Do you want to know what we did? Do you want to know how we rated the Bronx Warriors, the first one, as a comparison?
Oh, please
go on.
So we got an overall score for 21 on that. It was a high ranking film last year. I gave it 1 gold gizmo. Mark, you gave it 1 silver. Put it on the Ritz. And
Joe, of course, because of the monster at the back with the top hat on. Put it on the Ritz.
The jazz guys.
And Joe awarded it 4 shotguns to the chest of a man trying to finger bang a girl on the stairs.
That guy, yeah.
Oh, mate.
Oh, memories.
So I don't think this is. I liked the first one more.
I did.
Yeah,
I thought there was less farting about in the third act.
So I'm going to give
nothing in the third act apart from explosions and running.
I'm going to give this. There was no acting in the last act. There was.
She ran out of words by the end.
5 silver laundromats for me.
Ooh.
It's still high.
3 silver baked potato then.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3 silver baseball bats to a mannequin's face.
Oh, it's done well.
I enjoyed it
because
it is what it is. It's not pretending to be high cinema. It's literally the last half hour of this is people getting trampolined off stuff.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you just need that. I could have just done with some filling between the explosions. Like, I like lasagna sheets, but I need some filling between there. Otherwise, it's just a load of pasta.
I need some bad dialogue delivered in a very strange way.
Yeah. I needed Trash to be like, hang around. Stuff, like that shits. Stuff like that. Just him to be doing Arnie, James Bondy style quips. That would have made it so much better. Like, but it's fine. It's worth watching. It is on Amazon Prime.
It's also on YouTube, which is where I watched it.
It's got the makings of the best film this year because it's going to go downhill again. If I'm any judge of this, and I am, we're going to slide away. Slip sliding away, according to evil Paul Simon. I've got tons of these.
Oh my God almighty.
You've done very well.
Well, here's to you, Mr. Jameson. No? Fine, fuck yous.
Yes, that was Escape from the Bronx 1983, also known as Bronx Warriors 2. Same year as Endgame, Bronx Lotta Finale, another Italian film that we've covered in the past. They were mad about the Bronx, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Which one was that?
This time. That was the one with... is
that the guy who gets sealed in concrete and they twist his head off?
It's the one where there's like a gang of people who are blind and... Do you remember that?
Yeah. No, it is the one. It is the one, Joe, where they twist his head off. Yeah, it is definitely that one. Yeah.
It's like a Running Man style situation. Yeah.
And Deathstalker. So yeah. I was going to say that's not Italian, isn't it? It was good. It was a good year for Italian cinema, nonetheless. Shot roughly 18 months after the first Bronx movie, so a year after it was released. Anyway, this got released. Enzo G. Castellari, who directed it, we've covered him before. He has stated that he was disappointed with how much muscle mass Mark Gregory, or Trash, had lost between part 1 and the sequel, which is why he keeps his jacket on for 90% of the movie.
Oh,
I didn't personally see it, but
I thought he looked more hench in this.
Well, after 2 weeks of shooting in New York, which I think might actually mean filming and not just the shooting.
It was the bit where I was saying like before. It's where they all the potato men come out of a thing, and there's just a guy walking down the street, and he goes, ugh, and tries to walk around him, and one of the potato men pushes him slightly, and I was like, another day in New York.
Overall, there was 3 weeks for pre-production and 7 for shooting. I think, and 2 weeks of that was in New York. Quite a lot of this was filmed beneath Rome somewhere. It had recurring characters, so we had Massimo Vanni playing Blade in the first one. He appears as Evil Paul Simon or Little Big Man. Isn't that a game? I don't know. Also, Ennio Girolami was Castellari's brother, so the director's brother. He was President Clark. And the director himself is in it as Laundromat Guy with a moustache. That's the director.
Oh, wow!
Wow!
The full death toll in this is, or at least in the uncut version.
Everyone's got to take a shift in the laundromat.
174 people died in this. 110 in shootings, 40 in explosions, 9 by flamethrowers, 1 by stabbing, 1 off-screen kill, 4 unknowns, 6 electrocutions, 2 bashed in the face with a helmet and turned into a mannequin, and 1 person having their head staved in by a shotgun butt.
Oh, I also forgot the bit where they're running through the tunnels and Short Round has set up, like, he's electrified the minecart tracks that are in there for some reason. And 3 sets of 2 lads explode. They climb over the bodies of their friends and then explode again and again. Like, bravo. 174, you say?
174.
Wow.
Also, I have to point out at this point
of greatness record.
Katie said, "But what about those fire guns?" I was like, "What?" That's her word for flamethrower now. That's what I know.
She doesn't know the word for coaster, does she? She calls them mug spots. So.
So, director Enzo Castellari, we did him last time when we did Bronx Warrior, so I won't linger on him too much. He went on to have a nice career after this, did loads of stuff. Seems like a genuinely nice bloke. No one died in the making of this, so that's a plus.
Hey,
excellent to celebrate. So Floyd Wangler, Henry Silver was the American actor who played him. Most famous film was The Manchurian Candidate, where he was Chunjin. He got typecast a lot as Eastern characters, even though I think his family were from Sicily or something.
Okay.
He's also in the original Ocean's 11, 1960.
All right.
So, it's possible that you've seen his face somewhere. He went on to do loads of Italian crime films, apparently. He's also the voice of Bane in the animated Batman series.
What?
So there's that.
Batman,
Died in 2022, so not that long ago.
He did. Yeah. Oh.
So the only other one that I'll do is Dominatrix, possibly known as Birdie or Joanna or something. That was Moana Pozzi, an Italian porn actress who was the subject of a minor scandal in Italy in the early 1980s. So around this time, because she starred in a film called Valentina Girl in Heat, which debuted at the same time that she happened to be on children's TV.
What?
Yeah. By the 1980s, she'd written a book called Moana's Philosophy, having claimed to have slept with various celebrities, marking them out of 10. I think Robbie De Niro's on there. Also, the ex-Prime Minister of Italy, Bettino Craxi, was on there.
Wow.
She herself had political aspirations, founding the Love Party in the early 90s. Whose political programme included... Oh, do you know of these? Go on.
It's blatantly on Eurotrash.
It was on Eurotrash.
I've seen. I'm aware of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, I wasn't aware of it. It called for the legalization of brothels, better sex education, the creation of love parks, which I think are just parks.
Sites.
As well as opposing the mafia and advocating pro-LGBT policies. So that's nice. She died in 1994, sadly, from cancer, and she's still so famous in Italy that Disney had to release the film Moana there as Oceania.
Wow.
I was gonna say, like, yeah. Wow. Well done, her. She's terrible in this. She does nothing.
Well, she wasn't in the film enough, really. I barely noticed her.
But yeah, wow. I remember me and Mark, as men of a certain age, distinctly remember watching Eurotrash, down quiet so it wouldn't wake your parents up, sort of thing. But I distinctly remember the love party. Yeah. Wow. That's
all her.
That's dug that out of the deep recesses of my mind.
And speaking of which, thus James Fax slithers back into an apparently sprawling cave complex under Rome for days.
So this has like that weird cult sort of following of things that this always does. So I found it difficult to find anything that was less than like 7. So, but I did manage to find B.A. Harrison.
I pity that fool.
Yeah, George Harrison's gold chain wearing. I don't know. So much action, boring action. 3 out of 10. And I was I kind of agree a little bit. In Escape from the Bronx, Enzo Castellari's sequel to the Bronx Warriors, the inhabitants of the Bronx have been given orders to leave their homes, or the area having been scheduled for redevelopment. According to the authorities, the evacuated cities will be relocated to altered accommodation in New Mexico, but plucky reporter Moon Gray believes that the people are being deported and killed. The big clue being the logo plastered on the side of the disinfectors van, which reads Disinfestation Annihilation Squad. Yeah, not subtle.
No.
In an effort to prevent
there's one thing this film is not, it's sort
of... good.
In an effort to prevent further bloodshed, Moon teams up with biker Trash and thief Strike. In like the worst D&D pie. To try and kidnap the president of Juicy Corporation, the evil organization conduct the genocide. Like Castellari's first Bronx movie, this suffers from wooden acting and a predictable plot. Now,
that's what I wanted.
At the start of this film, I couldn't have predicted that it would have involved kidnapping the president and then running through sewers for 30 minutes. But tries to compensate for any shortcomings with wall-to-wall action, the film featuring an excess of shooting and explosions. Unfortunately, the action is so mundane and repetitive in execution, largely consisting of people falling down in bloodless fashion when shot or flying through the air in slow motion when blown up, that it soon becomes tiresome in the extreme. In addition to all the tedious action, Escape from the Bronx also suffers from some really bad model effect, exploding boltwood buildings and vehicles, a laughable pantomime villain in Chief Disinfector Floyd Wrangler, and at the staple of many of the Italian exploitation flicks, an annoying kid. Strike's young son Junior, played by Alessandro Pretri. 3 out of 10. Italian exploitation at its most wearisome.
Oh.
See, I 3 out of 10.
The thing is, they obviously started with the sets first. They went, we've got a great filming location, let's figure out a film.
Yeah.
Let's
do that same film again, is what they said.
Yeah.
But let's add a small child to it instead of what was he called? It was Blade from the first one, wasn't it? Yeah.
He can still come back, but as a different gang.
As a different character who's not in this film.
Blade.
Yeah. But I think that's just a bit harsh. Like, you've got to look at it on its merits of...
Oh, absolutely.
It had graffiti. It had a confessional box used badly in it.
I think his point is, though, what he's saying is, I don't have a podcast that I can make an hour and a half's worth of content out of this film.
B.A. Harrison does. It's called B.A. Airlines with Harrison.
Got my mind set on rubbish films.
Well, Mr. T gently weeps.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
That's the only 2 George Harrison songs I know.
There is only 2. That's
right. He spent all his money funding Life of Brian.
Did you?
I don't know. I don't agree with that. I enjoyed this. I think it's one of those fun ones you can put on and have a laugh. Around.
Yeah,
because it is so unbelievably ridiculous. It's the same 8 men getting shot over and over and over again, and not even more interesting and intuitive ways. It's just behind them constantly.
Yeah.
I did want you to isolate some of the Italian men dying sounds in slow motion.
If I've got time before this goes out on Thursday, because I'm working from home now, I may be able to.
Right.
Or I'm just gonna get you shits.
Yes, please.
And on that note, that was 1983's Escape from the Bronx, Bronx Warriors 2, Electric Boogaloo, Bronx Harder.
Bronx a lot.
Your favourite lines from the film, gentlemen?
I like scratching my balls.
That fucker's KO'd Skyboy 3.
Nobody wants to sit on a John full of dynamite.
Hey, the lunch wagon's coming. Yeah, right.
You're right, little big man.
There's more ways to die down here than a Bruce Lee.
Fucking stop! You're supposed to be one favourite, not all of them.
They're all great.
He was so good. Go watch it, you shits. Say goodbye, shits.
Bye.
Arrivederci, you shits. Steak and eggs and eggs and steak. That's what you have for breakfast. Delicious.